Replacement heifers here are a mix of the fall and winter bred heifers. What we do is we do a timed AI due to time constraints. We'll sync the heifers up. All of these heifers are bred to a Thunder bull that is in a AI group. Then we'll turn in Cavanese bulls to clean them up. We'll pregnancy check by blood test as far as when their due date is, and we'll take a couple of blood tests and time them out. The ones that are due a little later, we'll put in some production sales around and try and market them as bred heifers. These are our first calf heifers. They went through the same breeding protocol as we saw when we saw our bred heifers that were springing. All the calves here except for two are AI'd. They're either bred to 878 or to the lamplighter bull, with the bulls we selected to breed them. Typically they'll calve in November. We'll keep, the only supplementation we do with the cow herd are on first calf heifers. We'll give them probably 3 or 4 pounds of corn gluten a day as they calve and after they calve, up until we turn the bull in with them, just to keep their body condition up and improve their conception rate. We will typically wean the heifers' calves off a little earlier than the cow herd. We'll monitor the heifer's condition. If they start losing condition, getting down in the 3-4 range, and I'm not talking about being pulled down by milking ability, which we're trying to achieve, but we'll pull them off a little early. But basically we watch the condition of the cow. Last year, all of our heifers rebred. This year we'll pull a blood test on them when we wean calves and make, if they're bred, we'll keep them. If they're open, we send them. What we'll do is, out of this group of 60 or so weaned heifers, we'll select 20 or 30 for our replacements. The remainder we'll group with a similar group from neighbors, and we'll put them in a video sale and pull the bottom end off and trying to get them to replacement quality and trying to add value that way. Should market those. We'll probably either put them in the August or September video sales for probably a first week September delivery, either way. That'll get the heifers off of our, the heifers right now are on fescue. We're feeding them approximately 4 or 5 pounds of corn gluten a day. We keep them on a cattle mineral, a good mineral with Bovatec. Bovatec helps with their bloat. The heifers, we don't want them to gain quite as fast as the steers. We don't want to put any extra flesh on them, especially we don't want to get them too fleshy. We want to just kind of grow them, get them, and that's the reason we're keeping them on the fescue. If we see the steers a little later on, the steers we've got on some summer annuals, pearl millet. They'll gain a little faster, and if we have adequate rainfall and adequate moisture, they'll gain a little faster on the pearl millet and put a little more, the steers will put a little more flesh on the same program. We try to keep corn gluten at a level of approximately 1/2 to 3/4% body weight. We could give them more, they would gain a little faster, but we think that's kind of the point of diminishing returns. It adds enough protein and energy to them, but at a reasonable cost. Our vaccination program for our weaned calves, we follow the Pfizer Weaned Vac program. We market them as Select Vac and actually put them on the website. We have the cards that go with them. It's an established program. We follow the Pfizer program. There are other good, the Sure Health program from Merrill. They're good programs. We follow that program. We adapt it to the heifers that we give them we also give them the respiratory shot, the Somnus shot. We give them the Pastorella shot as part of that program. The heifers, we additionally give them the reproductive leptovibrio shots. We also get a calf foot vaccinate all the heifers. And that way it takes care of the ones we keep for replacement, but it also helps us in our marketing, as marketing these as replacement quality heifers. They've already had a calf foot vaccination. Even though most of our marketing is done within Tennessee, it clears you to market to any surrounding states or anyone they're ready to get their health papers and ride as soon, because they've been calf foot vaccinated. They have all these shots. And again, we work closely with our practitioner, Dr. West, to follow these protocols. So we're ready to ship. When we market, we try and market these things. We try and remove as many roadblocks or questions that people have. So if they say, well, it's not that we add value, it's just we're trying to remove any discount that may be there or any question a buyer has. We try and keep it simple. We commingle these cattle with surrounding neighbors. We all do exactly the same thing at approximately the same time within a day or two. We'll vaccinate at the same time. We'll calf food vaccinate at the same time. We do all of those things. So even though they're commingled cattle, and we'll commingle them 2 to 3 weeks before we ship them. We'll put them together, commingle them, and let them get through there. And we notice at about 4 or 5 days, we'll have a few runny nose. We'll have a little weepy eye here because they're new kids in the kindergarten, and they're swapping bugs around. But after about 10 days, they're straightened out, and at 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they've been same as they've been together their whole life. We're removing things that the buyers will ask questions about, is what we try to do when we market these cattle. This group, we've got good facilities, we've got good fences. We'll nose clip those with the quiet wean system. We'll put a nose clip in, turn the calves out with the cows for 3 or 4 or 5 days. Then we'll come in and move the cows right on the other side of a fence, kind of a fence line wean. And what we'll do, typically about a week or 2, 3 before we wean them, we'll start putting a little feed in troughs and separate the calves out. Not a lot, just get them used to eating whatever feed we're going to feed them that time, and they're not creeping them. We're just getting them used to going to a trough and eating when they're still with mama. Then we'll put the nose clips in, start them on feed. You know, we use a creep where they walk through and can get to their feed, or we'll actually put the whole group in, separate the cows out, and then get the calves started on whatever feed, corn gluten feed, dry distillers, whatever we've bought cheap enough. And then fence line, we'll put the cows right on the other side of a fence, and usually there's no balling with the nose clips. They're a little aggravated. They're following mama around. You think they're sucking, and about, maybe 4 or 5% will figure it out and can suck with the nose clip, but they'll be the ones balling a little later on, better 3 or 4 than 100. And after about a week, we move the cows wherever we're going with them farther away, and the calves are used to us pouring out in the troughs, and when the Jeep drives up or whatever vehicle we feed in, they become accustomed to it and go to the troughs. After about 2 weeks, a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, they're settled, they're past the stress. Then we'll start our vaccination, worming program, whatever we're doing then. We try and get them weaned. We do cold wean some. We've got some places where we don't have good working facilities, places to get the rented places. In that case, we do it the old-fashioned way with diesel fuel. We'll load them on the gooseneck trailer, bring them to a dry lot, wean them like we do there. We do some of that simply because we don't have good facilities at some places to put the nose clips in. But we've gone away from the band simply because the buyers do not want them, and we're driven by what the market tells us to do. The market tells us they want them knife cut, and that's what we'll do. And there's less stress. The studies have shown you have less stress cutting them than you do banding them. Weaned the same for the first several weeks. Vaccination program's the same, except they do not get the reproductive shots. The calves will weigh about 500 pounds when we wean them off 1st of May. We'll put them on the pearl millet, and they will, with a good year, the steers will gain right at 2 pounds per day with minimal supplementation. We'll try and target these calves we'll put them in a video sale the 1st of August for a first week in September delivery date. We've got a loading facility. We load truckload lots out. We've got scales sitting there that we can scale them as we go on the truck and get the weights to ship. That's where we go in with our neighbors. We'll commingle these steers. We target them to 7-weight steers. Of course, there's some that are 7-weight or more right now, but we've got some lighter steers. We'll average 7-weight. Right now we've got about 150 head booked at 7-weight, which that's 105,000 pounds. That'll give us room to cut some off the light end or the heavy end. We give the buyer the option. Sometimes you get a truck, he doesn't care how much he gets on there, and that's fine too. But that's our target, and that gets us off the first week in September, and that's about it. We've been taking advantage of the LRP program, Livestock Risk Protection. I always liken to it. It's fairly cheap. We don't try and get in at the top of the price range. We try and get in somewhere in that 1% range of the total value of the cattle. Keep our premium down to $7, $8, $10 per head. Being paid, and we've actually received some indemnity payments over the years, but I liken that to watching your mother-in-law run off the cliff in your new Cadillac. You got mixed emotions. You wish the market was better. You wish the market was better so you didn't get the indemnity. But what it does is we start sourcing our inputs. When we look, let's say this group of cattle in May, what they were. When we did our LRP and put a price floor under them, we knew we'd get that much for them in August. So we could go ahead and comfortably buy our inputs of corn gluten feed, do our cost of seeding, fertilization program. We could do that and add, that's more expense we're going to put on these cattle, and we want to get paid back at the end of it. But this, well, shouldn't say, we aren't there yet. Right now, you know, we priced the cattle at, they were $1.65 for 7-weight cattle in August, on the August board, and we priced them. They're at $2.15 today. That's good. I'm happy. I still got the catalog and my mother-in-law. So, but we try and manage our risk. We try and identify individuals, because the good individuals will make us money. The ones that are along for a free ride, that are going to eat our grass and eat our hay and not wean a good calf, we want somebody else to own that individual. And records allow us to identify that individual. When at weaning, what we will typically do is approximately at weaning, we go through our program of kind of getting the calves used to a trough and whatever, but when we actually walk through, we'll try and get a weaning weight or raw weaning weight. Before we bought scales through the program, the TAEP program, the extension service would come out and actually help us weigh our calves, and then we started weighing our cows. We put that on the firm program, and what that gives us is a readout of, it gives us our weaning weight for the calves, but it also, with our cow, allows us to get a % body weight weaned. And we have found that if we're doing our job and using good genetics and we don't make management mistakes, we keep the forage in front of them, we hope to wean 48, 50, 52% body weight. And we have found, when I spoke earlier about, we wanted that 1,100, 1,200 pound cow, 1,150 ideally. That's our ideal weight we'd like for a mature cow herd to be. If she's weaning a 500 pound calf, 550, 540, she's doing her job. Now, if she weighs 1,500 pounds, chances are pretty good she's not going to be weaning a 750 pound calf, but she's going to take a whole lot more resources to get that. So we use our record keeping to identify, not only visually or phenotypically looking at these cattle, but to quantitatively measure them. And we've done it enough, we're pretty well right. When we see that great big mama over there and she's got a just average calf, she needs to go somewhere. And the records help us identify those. As our numbers get up, it helps us identify that group that we can, as we roll our older, poor producer cows out. And we've got some cows that are, you know, we have cows that are 17, 18 years old and still producing. And that's what we want. Longevity, if the longer we can keep a cow with longevity, the better off we are, because we spread that cost of developing that heifer over a longer period of time. And the records let us identify those that are doing a good job. When we've been very lucky that we've used the same bull suppliers as far as our Angus program the last 10 or 15 years. Your bull supplier needs to be based the same way you are. If their cattle are based where a corn-based diet or a lot of supplementation, it will not work as well when they use them. And we've been lucky, we found 2 suppliers in those and have used them. We've also gone over to starting using some Hereford bulls. When we look at a bull, we don't look for we try to stay like our cow herd. If we're going to keep our cows moderate, we have to keep our bulls moderate. Right now in the Angus, and many of them, they're chasing yearling weight. With yearling, all additional yearling weight's going to do is get us a larger animal. So what we look for is docility, milking ability, maternal. We look at the bottom side of the pedigree. Those are usually my first questions to our bull supplier is, how's their mama? How's their granddam? They know their mama herds, their maternal lines better than anyone. And that's our question, because we retain our heifers, and that's the future of our program. And the bulls we use are going to produce the heifers that we're going to use.